Hello everyone. Thanks for tuning into Indian Markets Unveiled, our daily market podcast where we discuss the long and short of key things that one needs to look into for the trading session. Let us start with the global markets and then dive into commodity, domestic market, today's opening as well as the stock specific action that's making news today. To start with the global markets, a good start as we say, and as we see that the US markets did end in green overnight and the Asian markets did start with positivity too. Wall Street ended the previous trading session with the much-awaited relief rally, snapping the 3 days losing streak, followed by the release of non-farm employment growth data, which came at lower than expected, and it favored the sentiment for the equity investors, as bad news is being perceived to be good news for the equity investors given the macro trend. The 10-year bond yield also cooled off a bit to 4.7% from the highs of 4.8%, further adding positive sentiments to the equities. The key indices such as S&P ended the day with gains of around 1%, the Nasdaq clocked gains of around 1.5%. So clearly, the economic indicative action which happened in the US markets had the signs of positivity and the closing happened with good results. Coming to the Asian markets, the Asian market is also trading in green, with Japanese market leading the pack with around 1.5% up moves, followed by Kospi and Taiwan, while China remains shut for the long holiday. So all in all, the global setup seems positive. Let's take a look at the commodity front. We have a look at the energy pack as well as the bullion market and what happens with the currency. So the Brent crude oil prices fell over 5.5% overnight as uncertainty around demand and supply continues to persist. On the precious metal side, international gold prices continue to trade at the lows of $1,826 per ounce on the concerns of higher for longer interest rates. The dollar index also came off the highs from 107 to 106 and adding to the positive sentiments for equities. However, near-term cues would depend a lot on upcoming key economic data points and economic indicative action on initial jobless claims, non-farm payroll, and unemployment rate awaited through today and tomorrow. So there are a lot of triggers and events which one needs to digest while we see in the global markets. But all in all, the setup looks positive as the US markets closed in green. The Asian market started well. On commodity front, we do see crude oil prices falling around 5.5%, which is again a positive for the domestic market and particularly for the market and stocks which are related to crude oil prices, the oil marketing companies, the oil producers, the refining companies. Let's quickly have a look at what happens on the domestic front. Indian market closed the Wednesday session in red, but benchmark index Nifty bounced back sharply from the day's low and ended the day with cuts less than 0.5%. However, as cautioned during our last podcast, the mid-cap and small-cap indices took the bigger brunt and closed sharply lower with cuts more than 1% during the previous session. Let's now take a look at what happened during the opening for Indian markets. Indian market has positive cues to start with on account of favorable handover coming from the global equity markets, coupled with lower crude oil prices, softer dollar index, and cool off in US bond yields. The crucial levels for Nifty 50 stands at 19,333 on the lower side, which was yesterday's low, and 19,510 on the higher side. The flows were also weak during Wednesday's session as FIs sold nearly 4,424 crores while DIs bought around 1,779 crores. So constantly, we see support coming in from DIs, but the FIs are selling. During the early opening hours of today, the benchmark index Nifty opened with gains of around 0.5%, aided by the positive support coming from Nifty IT and Nifty Bank. On the sectoral front, Nifty PSU Bank leading the pack, followed by Nifty Media and Nifty Realty. In terms of the top movers, BPCL, MotoCorp and Infosys are the top gainers, while Divi's Lab, Nestle and Power Grid were the top losers in Nifty during the opening hours. Coming to stock-specific news, we start with MotoCorp as the world's largest motorcycle and scooter manufacturer has received 13,688 bookings for its new flagship motorcycle, Karizma XMR. Dispatches to dealerships have begun, with customer deliveries starting during the month's festival period. The Karizma is priced at Rs 1,79,900 and a new booking window will be announced soon. The next stock in news is Marico, as the company reported low single-digit percentage growth in domestic volumes compared to the previous year, primarily due to ongoing rural demand weakness. Saffola edible oil and Parachute coconut oil saw slight volume growth with the help of price cuts. Value-added hair oils also saw low single-digit growth in value terms. The next stock in news is Bandhan Bank, as the lender reported CASA at 43,161 crore, up around 7% on a year-on-year basis. Loans and advances grew around 12% to 1,07,633 crores, and total deposits stood at 1,12,074 crore, which was a gain of around 13%. And last but not the least, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited announced the Indian Air Force plan to purchase an additional 97 light combat aircraft following the delivery of the first LCA Tejas twin-seater aircraft. So clearly we see the stocks in automobile sector, FMCG sector, banks and financials and defense in focus today. With this, we come to the wrap of Indian markets unveiled for today's session. To sum it up, the setup for today's session in Indian market seems to be in favor of bulls, with yields coming down, Brent crude oil prices cooling off, dollar index taking a breather in the backdrop of positive cues coming from the global equity markets. However, investors should avoid taking leveraged long positions ahead of the awaited key economic data, both on the US job market and domestic monetary policy front as well. Nevertheless, irrespective of market conditions, research is the backbone of successful portfolio creation. Wealth creation is an art that we understand. We at Devin Chopsy have our exclusive research services which are powerful and successful. To avail our exclusive research services, we invite you to join us. Just click on the link below and you are done. Fill in your basic details and our team will reach out to you. So don't wait further and embark on the wealth building adventure together. Thank you.